once again everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a hot minute since I uploaded a video, and I can't really promise that my videos won't be sporadic even still, but I really wanted to film and get this video out for you guys this Friday. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into the story. You've read the title, let's get to it. So as you guys are well aware by now, I was a cashier at Walmart for roughly 6 months, and I started in March, ended in September. Yeah, I enjoyed it at my first location, but I tried to transfer locations and the second location just didn't work out for me. So long story short, I worked at Walmart for 6 months and it was kind of okay, kind of not okay. I will explain that further. But this particular situation that we are dealing with in this video is with an older gentleman who approached my checkout line right before I was supposed to go on my lunch break. So I dealt with a lot of customers in a day, especially if it was a weekend or near a holiday or anything like that. So I think that this was roughly around like back to school season, and like we have a lot of people who buy stuff for back to school, obviously, because parents have to buy stuff for their children. Like schools release lists for parents. It's just, you know, a thing everybody knows about. So we were kind of in the middle of the back to school rush, which I had anticipated. I knew that it was going to be crazy. All of my coworkers told me about how crazy it could be, so I was pretty prepared for that. And honestly, the back to school rush was really not that bad in my opinion compared to some other things that I've seen in retail. But regardless, it was just a normal day during this whole back to school rush. I was used to it being busy. I actually preferred when it was busy in the store than when it was kind of dead. So I was kind of in my element. I was loving it. I was having a good day. And this older gentleman approaches my checkout line, like I said. And I'm always really vigilant about pricing because I know that customers hate when something doesn't ring up for the right price, and so I always try to make sure that it does. When I scan it, I immediately look at the little overhead thingy that tells you what the price is and compare it to what it says on the item. So this man had, I'm not exaggerating when I say he had a cart full of items, mostly expensive items, like and 2 or 3 of the same item. I don't know how familiar you guys will be with the very large, heavy-duty flashlights, kind of like a hunting flashlight or just like a really heavy-duty flashlight. They can get pretty pricey. They can get around $40, $50 a piece, if not more. I've never purchased one myself, but I do know that they run high just from what I've heard from family members and friends and things of that nature. So I do know that they're pretty expensive, which you can kind of tell just by the weight of it. You know, cheaper flashlights and stuff, they're not very heavy, but these are like really heavy duty, really nice flashlights. And I want to say he had probably 4 of those, 4 or 5. It was a lot. It was a noticeable amount. He also had some licensed clothing, like sports clothing, stuff like that, you know, with those little shiny tags on them that are like, this is a licensed approved product of this football team or this baseball team or, you know, the MLB, the NFL, that kind of thing. It is licensed, which typically means that it's more expensive in my personal experience. So I'm from Louisiana. My Walmart carried a lot of LSU stuff, so he had roughly 6 or 7 licensed LSU shirts, which were being sold for about $20 or $30 a piece, because they're not just like t-shirts, they're like, they had some kind of jersey type materials, stuff like that, and they were 20 or 30 a piece, maybe 25, somewhere around there. But he had a lot of those. He had some other expensive things like some camping equipment, some hunting equipment, some stuff from automotive, I believe, some just kind of a mix of random things, but they were all pretty much expensive. He did have a couple of things that were on sale, like some just basic shirts that were on sale, some like graphic tees that were on sale. He did have some of those. So while his whole cart was not entirely expensive things, the majority was expensive things in large quantities, which I did think was strange at first, but you know, you kind of start to brush that type of thing off when you work at Walmart, because people just buy stuff and it's always in a weird order, a weird amount. You see people buying weird stuff all the time. So I was like, okay, maybe he's buying like preemptive gifts for people. Maybe he's preparing for like a trip. I don't know this man's life, and I don't really care to. It's just my job to ring up his stuff. So I'm sitting there, I'm scanning stuff, and at first he was talking to me, so I really wasn't, you know, I wasn't that concerned with looking at the prices, but he did mention that he had some stuff that was supposed to be on sale. So I said, oh, you know, well, let me make sure that this stuff has rung up on sale. And if you've ever worked at Walmart, you know that there's a button that you can press, and it's the slip button. I think it's been a month or two. I think you just press slip and it'll print out all of the items that you've scanned so far. It's like a little receipt before the actual receipt, you know. So it'll print that out and you can see what everything cost and, you know, all of that. At this point, I had rung up about 2 or 3 items. I think I had rung up like a flashlight, one of the shirts, maybe another flashlight. I don't know. It was 2 or 3 things, and I looked at the slip. These items were ringing up. The flashlight rang up as a 94-cent pool noodle, like, you know, the really long noodles that you use in a swimming pool that keep you afloat, like keep children afloat, that are like $1 a piece. That's what that flashlight was ringing up as. So I thought, oh, you know, that's weird, but like sometimes the wrong sticker gets stuck on stuff. I wasn't that concerned about it. I let the man know, and he said that he didn't want it anymore, which was fine. And then the other thing on the receipt had rung up as a piece of crafting felt, which was like 60 cents or something ridiculous like that. So I was like, okay, that's a little bit weird, but you know, I'll just let him know. So I told him, and he was like, oh, well, I didn't know. You can just take that off then because I don't want it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So after those 2 or 3 items, I just continued ringing up his stuff. But I was being extra vigilant about the prices now. So I rung up another flashlight, and lo and behold, if it didn't ring up as a pool noodle. So I flip it over, and where the barcode at Walmart, the policy is pretty much to just scan the barcode printed on the box or the packaging or whatever, because sometimes it does have multiple barcodes, like stickers stuck on it, but the one on the box is typically the one that you use. So I flipped it over and looked. This man had taken the stickers off of the pool noodles and stuck it over the original barcode. Not like it was an accident and it just kind of got stuck on the package or anything. He had to have intentionally went through and took it and placed it over the original barcode, because it was perfectly placed over the original barcode of the flashlight. I said, sir, this is incorrect. And he was just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, like I didn't know, yada yada yada, I thought that those were on sale, yada 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 yada, I don't want them. And I was just like, you think you can fool me, honey? No. I see what you're doing. I see right through you. I see you. I'm watching you. Okay. So I continue. I'm on to him at this point. Every single thing that I rung up, barring only the actual items that were on sale, rang up as items that they were not, as much cheaper items. So at this point, I'm looking around for a manager. I'm searching for a manager with my eyes. Like, my eyes are darting around. And of course, You can never find a CSM when you need one. You can never find one. They're always at the customer service desk. Anywhere that you are not, that's where they are. So I didn't see anybody there, and I really had no choice but to let him go, because he only ended up paying for the items that were actually on sale. But I guarantee he had stuck these stickers for these pool noodles and pieces of crafting felt, stuff that was very inexpensive, onto expensive barcodes. He stuck them on every single one. That means 4 or 5 of these like expensive flashlights, these licensed t-shirts, this camping equipment that can get pretty spendy, some automotive stuff. He was just trying to swindle me, and I honestly was not having it. No, it's not happening. Sorry. I really don't understand what he thought he was going to accomplish. I've heard of people doing stuff like this at other stores and maybe even Walmart too, but they do it at self-checkout. Honestly, I don't know why this man didn't go through self-checkout, because any cashier who's paying attention and actually trying to do their job is going to catch this pretty quickly. It's really not that difficult to catch, especially if you're really trying to do your job. And I was actually really always trying to be Employee of the Month, and I never got it. Still don't know how that was determined, but whatever. By the end of this, I had to let him go because I couldn't find a CSM anywhere, which is a customer service manager. They are the people who wear yellow vests, who walk around the cash registers, all that stuff. They help the cashiers and stuff like that. They are managers. Couldn't find any of those anywhere. There's usually 2 on every shift, sometimes 3, and none of them. Couldn't find a single one. So I had to let the dude go because he paid for the stuff that he ended up actually wanting. But I did report it to both CSMs on duty when I could actually find somebody. Like when he left, I cut my light off and went and found them, because I thought that it was kind of something that they needed to know immediately, so that if he tried to do this in the next few days or in the next few weeks, that they would be able to catch it and catch on to him. So they reviewed like the camera footage, they reviewed all of this stuff, and it turned out that they could actually see him go through the store and take these barcodes and put them on the expensive items. Like they saw him taking stuff off of pool noodles and putting it onto these expensive flashlights and stuff like that. And when they like tallied up all of the stuff that he had that he didn't want and didn't know was not on sale, it was like over $500. It was like $600 or $700. It was a lot of stuff, because he had all of these really nice flashlights and this camping equipment and all of this stuff. It was a lot. Like he had a buggy full, and he only left with 2 or 3 things that were actually on sale. So like I say, I don't really know what he expected to happen here, but I caught on to this scheme pretty quickly. It's not something that I've never heard of, but it is something that I never thought that anyone would attempt at, like a human cashier. I never thought that anyone would have the guts to try that, but it doesn't work out for you, in case you wanted to know. Long story short, I had to give the account to all of the CSMs that I saw for like the next 2 days, so that everybody would know. And I had to talk to the store's assistant manager and tell her about what had happened, so that, you know, they could get through all of the stuff. And that's when they reviewed the security footage and all of that. So honestly, the only really good thing that came out of it was that I saved Walmart some money. I kind of just got a pat on the back. They were like, good job, good paying attention. I was like, thanks guys, it's what you pay me for, I guess. But yeah, that's the story of how I saved Walmart upwards of $500. So yeah, that is that. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe, because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!